Okay, now let's look at um, a study roadmap. So, for instance, let's say we have 8 weeks to practice or study for the exam. How should we plan around these 8 weeks? So, for the first 1 to 2 weeks, you need to map this week with your handbook. We I know you guys have already created your my NCES account. You already have the reference handbook, and so you need to spend some time locating formulas by section, right? So within the first week or two, you just have to be very familiar with the reference handbook. A reference handbook contains a lot of information that some may be useful to you, some may not be useful to you. So this is like traveling. So if you want to travel from one state to another state, you need to check, you do your background check first. You know that, okay, the road that you want to take is very safe. So that's how you check. You check and know that, okay, this everything is safe for you before you proceed. Okay. Core math and then circuit. In the third and the fourth week, the most challenging areas are the circuits, and then the maths, right? And then the power systems. Those areas you would want to check those areas in the third to fourth week by looking at the areas very well. And then once you check this, you'll be able to identify some of the questions that will be difficult for you. And so you do this along with the handbook. You identify the topic and which area in the handbook does a can you find those information, right? Okay, and these areas that are not so difficult, you need less effort. So this is in line with what I was saying. So you start with the difficulty ones, and then you switch to the less difficulty ones. Ethics is very easy. Most of the times with ethics, you even need like a bit of reasoning and then like common sense around situations. That's the question is always like using your common sense judgment, right? So those areas you don't want to leave it, but you need to read the materials that you have and then check the reference handbook as well. And then in this 6 week, you want to start timing yourself, practicing this with the on the screen, and then using less than 2 minutes or let's say 3 minutes if you want to use all the time. So some of the questions you can solve the question even less than 30 seconds, especially for ethics. You can solve those questions in 1 minute or less. So yeah, but you start timing yourself. You get extra time from the soft areas and then use those time in the difficulty areas. By the 7th week, you should be very familiar with how the computer testing looks like. You should try to have a full section on your own where you practice without break, or even if you want to take a break, it will depend on the resources that you are using, but you can decide not to take a break and go like full scale. So this makes you stronger for the exam. Okay, for the last week before you go for the test, you need to restudy your weak areas. Okay, keep sessions short and confirm test the logistics. After all the hard work, you need to check everything, logistics, your ID, and your calculator is in line with the specifications that NCES required. And then when you get to the exam, make sure that you answer every question like we mentioned earlier on. The good thing is that there's no wrong answer penalty. So if you get a question wrong, NCES will not penalize you or take a point from you, so you don't lose anything. Okay, so today's takeaway, the gap between first time and repeat takers is real and documented by NCES, as we have seen. So we should never underestimate this exam. For myself, I remember when I failed the first time, the main reason why is I underestimated this exam. And so I studied some areas and I'm feeling confident about some other areas. So So the second point we also talk about is the handbook fluency. It's very important. This is a skill. It's not a knowledge gap. So using the handbook is not like somebody is better than the other person. It's just you practicing and be familiar with it. So it's something that can easily be trainable. We also look at the diagnostic report, how to understand it, what it meant. The average is in the middle with a dotted line, and then the solid vertical line is the is your point. Okay, if the vertical solid point is on the right side of the average, then that means that you have exceeded or met the requirement. And since we do not know the exact mark, it means that we need to study for all the areas. Okay, the last point is that for this week, I know you guys have done this already, but the only thing I'm not sure is whether you have practiced some problems on your own and then try to notice something for your performance. If you have not done that, you can visit my nces.org and then take some practice tests there. Even if you don't want to take the simulated test, you can start with the hard copied practice book they have, and then yeah, you can start from there. I think that should help. I used all those resources and they were very helpful to me. Okay, the last question, and then we'll come to the bonus tip for the section. So after today's section, how confident do you feel about taking the FE exam or your FE next step? How confident do you feel about your FE next step? Do you feel confident about it, or you still have some doubts? Do you think you can take the exam within the next 6 months or less? Oh, okay, somehow doubtful. Okay. Somehow doubtful. So one thing is that okay, I don't see the names of the ones who type, but okay, but somehow doubtful. Okay, no problem. After this one, we will look at the bonus tip. And so yeah, there are a lot of resources out there that you can help yourself with. Okay, better than first time. Just need a clear plan and stay consistent. Okay, and the other response is somewhat doubtful. Okay, these are all okay. One time we all have this kind of doubts, but yeah, as you mentioned, there need to be a clear plan and then staying consistent to that steady plan. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Let me see. Okay, the bonus tip here, like I mentioned, there are a lot of resources, but let's look at this resource I put on the ShaiLearning.com. I'm not sure if you have been able to look at it, but I can walk you through it, and let's see.